Now, one thing Labor should have learned from its shock election defeat last time was don't make a huge promise and then say, I don't know what it'll cost, or I can't tell you, won't tell you, whatever. Like it did last time with its global warming scheme.
When can people know, Mr Shorten, the cost of the economy? You didn't answer the question.
Do you know what, John? I'm going to go to the next person.
No, you should answer the question. That's why we're here to ask questions, and you're not answering the question. Dan? When can people expect to know, Mr Shorten, the cost of the economy?
All right, Dan.
Why can't you answer the question, Mr Shorten?
But has Labor leader Anthony Albanese gone perilously close to doing that all over again with his new promise to give workers more job security, including giving them the right to casual workers to take their entitlements, long service leave, for instance, from new job to new job? Because what's it going to cost? The government said $20 billion. Don't know if it's just plucking figures out of the air. Problem is for Labor, they don't know, or wouldn't say what it costs. No idea.
All we've said is we need to have a look at where these might be able to be extended. Now, that's all we've said. And so, you know, the cost at the moment is the cost of consultation.
This government just makes up figures as if they get them out of a cereal box. Workers are doing it tough.
Problem is, of course, that then you get Labor's new climate spokesman, Chris Bowen, giving a speech saying we've got to be upfront with, upfront with the voters, with the workers, telling them really what all this stuff is costing. Well, he says we've got to be honest, like we've got to say that coal is under threat, regardless what domestic climate change policies Australia adopts, and coal miners in the communities are owed honesty by their political leaders. Well, that's great. That's fantastic. Joining me is Mark Latham, former federal Labor leader and now One Nation leader in the New South Wales Parliament. Mark, I am all in favour of straight talk. That's what this segment is. So why didn't Chris Bowen say that actually coal does have a future, guys? Coal use around the world has bubbled up at record levels, more or less, for the last decade. And yet Labor wants policies that are going to cut our coal use, coal jobs. Why is that?
Well, Andrew, it's almost like Chris Bowen is willing the coal industry to collapse. And it's quite reminiscent of something that Richard Marles, now supposedly their jobs are, said 2 years ago when he was told that the thermal coal market was in decline. And he said that's a wonderful, wonderful thing, even though it had cost many tens of thousands of jobs directly and hundreds of thousands of jobs indirectly in Australia. So Labor's actually wanting to drive valuable resources work out of the labour market. And that's a tragedy because the work's very much concentrated in regions like the Hunter Valley and central Queensland, and those communities themselves would collapse, not just economically, but socially. And Bowen is wrong, though. The good news is that Bowen, yet again, is incorrect. Because if you look at the trade data, you can see that any loss of coal usage in Europe and North America is being more than compensated in places like India and Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia and the like, and the outlook for coal exports out of Australia is actually very good, other than if you get Chris Bowen as the minister and an Albanese government that'll try and drive those jobs out of our country and export them to other countries.
Well, just be honest, that the coal does have a long-term future still. And China, by the way, is increasing its coal use, has been for some time, up and down a little bit lately. But, there's all the recession business and all that. But we still can sell coal. Now, talking about, Chris Bowen, we need to be upfront with the workers, etc. He then posted a picture addressing this sort of issue, right, Mark? A picture of himself, this is on his Instagram page, posing with solar panels and claiming, and I'm quoting, renewable energy can create thousands of jobs across our suburbs and regions. Now, you've checked this photo, you've checked this fact. You're a man who likes to get to the bottom of things. What did you find out?
Well, Andrew, Chris Bowen, as soon as he became the shadow minister, went to this solar power nation company in his own electorate and said, this is the future. This is the future for employment in Australia, renewable energy. This is the direction in which we need to go. And you see that nice, beautiful, shiny blue solar panel there behind him. He's leaning on it. If you go to the website of the company, it's fascinating to find out where those panels are actually made. And you look at their first product entry, made in South Korea, the next set of panels made in Germany, next set South Korea. And then you get to the company called Canadian Solar Panels, and the website says that Canadian Solar is a producer of Tier 1 panels. Despite their name, any panels you buy from them in Australia will not be made in Canada. And you're thinking, oh, at last, I've been through this website. Bowen's saying this is the future for employment in Australia. Maybe we can have some solar panels manufactured here. And then the next sentence tells you they're made in China. So Bowen really is consigning the Australian workforce to a future of screwing into roofs the solar panels that are made in South Korea, Europe and China, everywhere but Australia. So again, it's a fraud on the Australian people. So Bowen's running around saying hundreds of thousands of jobs. There's not hundreds of thousands of jobs screwing in panels on roofs. This is a pre-existing industry. It's been around for 40 years. Where's the opportunity? Where's the plan? How are we going to manufacture any of this in Australia? When Bowen goes to the factory, this is the prototype, this is the future, and it's all made overseas. Even to the point, the false hope, you thought maybe the Canadian ones were made here, but no. China.
Honestly, global warming is turning into such a great rort for China, right? This Paris deal means all the Western economies, its strategic competitors, all these democracies, they've got to cut their emissions, strangle their economies, make these sacrifices. China can increase nearly double its emissions, and meanwhile, it sells us the rope to hang it ourselves with. All these solar panels, money more to China. Win, win. Mark Latham, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, mate. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thanks, Andrew.